Hi! Today we're going to learn about deriving integration by parts. Let's say we have to derive the integration by parts formula. So before we get started, let's first go over what integration by parts is. So integration by parts is a way to integrate a function. And it starts off, or deriving it starts off by looking at the product rule. So let's take a moment to look at the product rule. So in the product rule we have a function, let's say function u, times function v, let's say. And this is equal to u prime of v plus u times v prime. Now, let's say that we wanted to get from this side to this side. So what would we do? Or before we even say that, and we know that to get from this side to this side, we would have to find the integral of this side. But before we even do that, let's just put an integral for each term. So we know that the integral of this will be equal to just the integral of this part plus the integral of this part. And this would be equal to the integral of this part, the derivative of this. So if we had the derivative of u times v, so u times v prime is equal to the integral of u times v prime is equal to the integral of u prime of v plus u v prime. And we know this is true because the integral of u times v prime is just u times v. So now let's use some tools that we know how to do. So we know that this would be equal to uv, or u times v. And this would be equal to the integral of u prime of v plus the integral of u times v prime. So now we could say that this would be equal to, this integral, the integral of u times v prime, is equal to this integral, the integral of u prime times v, or sorry, not this integral, is equal to this part, u times v, minus this integral, u prime v. So, but let's take this a step farther. And we can see how we got here. We subtracted this integral from both sides of this equation. But when we're looking at this, we can see that something is missing. We know that these integrals are in terms of dx. So that means that we have to write dx after these integrands. So this would be equal to the integral of u times v prime dx, which is equal to u times v minus the integral of u prime of v dx. Now why did I say that we have to put dx here? Well, let's take a moment and rewrite this a different way. So, instead of saying v prime or u prime, let's write this as dv dx and du dx, because that's how we know, that's another way to write a derivative. So we get the integral of u times dv dx times dx is equal to, there's less space, so I'm going to write it down here, is equal to u times v minus the integral of du dx times v times dx. So take a moment to see how we got there. Okay, so now try and figure out the next step to do. What do we have to do next? Well, as we can see, there are some terms that cancel out. For example, in here we have dx and dx canceling out, and over here we have, again, dx and dx canceling out. So let's rewrite this. So we get the integral of u times dv is equal to u times v minus the integral of du, or v times du. So this is the common formula that we know for integration by parts. It says the indefinite integral of u times dv, or u dv, is equal to uv minus the indefinite integral of v du. Today we learned about how to derive the integrations by parts formula. Thank you for watching this video.